All right, let's go ahead and actually practice the skill we saw in that last video. So if you open up your assignment to U1L4A, the assignment, please. Let's find the slope of a line parallel to this line in number 1. So parallel lines have the same slope. We learned that in that video. So look, I've got the y by itself. So I know y equals mx plus b. If I want to find slope, slope is always the number before x. Well, looking at this line, y equals x, there is y equals 3, there is no x. There are 0 x's in this equation. So another way to write the equation from number 1 is y equals 0x plus 3. So the slope in this line is 0. The line parallel to it is the same, which is also 0. Boom. So 0 is the slope of all lines parallel to this given line. Let's look at number 2. Let's find the slope of the line parallel to this line. So again, parallel lines, I want that slope. It's the same slope as this line. So we've got y equals mx plus b. M is the number before the x. And b, oops, let me change that color. And b is the y-intercept. Alrighty, we want slope, so I want the number in yellow. So what is the number before the x? What's this number? It's not written there, so we understand it to be a 1. So the slope of a line parallel to this line is 1. Alright, so go ahead and pause the video, do questions 3, 4, 5, and 6. And when you come back, unpause, and we'll start with question number 7. Okay, welcome back. Glad you hit the pause. Now we're looking for slopes for lines perpendicular. Those are negative reciprocals. So what we're going to do is we are going to find the slope from this line, and then we're going to flip it upside down and change the sign. Okay, so find the slope of this line. Y equals mx plus b. I want to find the slope. The slope is the number in front of x. So in front of x is just a negative sign. So I know the slope of this line is negative 1. Sorry for the itch. Negative 1. So the slope I want to go perpendicular. Perpendicular says take m, flip it upside down, change the sign. Flip it upside down and change the sign. So I'm going to take 1, take the number, flip it upside down. 1 over 1, because if I write this as a fraction, it's 1 over 1. Turn that fraction upside down. It's still 1 over 1. Then change it from the sign. Change the sign. Change the negative to a positive. So the answer I want is positive 1. Okay, so I took the slope, I flipped it upside down, and I changed the sign. Again, I want the slope that's perpendicular to this line. So y equals mx plus b, where m is the slope. M is the slope. So there is the slope of my given line. M equals 1/3. I want the perpendicular slope. So perpendicular says take m. Turn it upside down because this is m over 1. Make it 1 over m. Change the sign. So I'm going to take 1/3, the fraction 1/3, and I'm going to flip it upside down. That becomes 3. 3 over 1 is 3, so 3 over 1. Change it from a positive to a negative. Now, nobody says negative 3 over 1. We just say negative 3. So the answer for number 8 is negative 3. Okay, so I'd like you to hit pause again. Answer 9, 10, 11, and 12. When you're done with 12, come back and I'll show you how to do number 13. All right, here we are for number 13. Now what we're going to notice on this one, I want the slope of parallel lines. Well, this is not in the form y equals mx plus b. So I need to get y by itself for this equation. So if I take x minus y equals negative 4, I want to solve this equation for y. I need to get y by itself. So everything that's not y needs to go to the other side of the equal sign. So I'm going to subtract x, and I'm going to subtract x. X minus x is 0. Nothing happened with the negative and the y, so I bring it down. These are not like terms, so I'm going to say negative x minus 4. I go back and I ask, is y by itself? Here's my y. Is it by itself? No, there's a negative with it. So I don't want negative y, I want positive y. So I'm going to divide everything by negative 1. Everything gets divided by negative 1. Negative y divided by negative 1 is y. Bring down the equal sign. Negative x divided by negative 1, x. Negative 4 divided by negative 1, plus 4. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is find the slope of this line. Remember, slope is the number in front of x. So what's the number in front of this x? That's right, 1. The slope of the given line is 1. Parallel lines have the same slope. So 1 is my answer. Parallel means we have the same slope. So m equals 1 is the answer. Keep hitting the wrong button. Alrighty, so there it is, question 14. I didn't see it at first. So again, y is not by itself. I need to get y equals mx plus b. I need to get y by itself. This is standard form. I don't want standard form. So let's get this y by itself. So that means everything that's not a y is going to be getting rid of on the left side of the equation. So I'm going to get rid of the x first. I'm going to subtract 7x, subtract 7x. Always move that x first. 7x minus 7x, 0. Nothing happened with the minus 4y, so I bring it straight down. These are not like terms, so I'm going to write the x term first, followed by the constant. Y is still not by itself, so I'm going to divide everything by negative 4. Everything gets divided by negative 4. So y equals negative 7x divided by negative 4. Well, that's going to be a positive 7 over 4x. Negative 12 divided by negative 4 is a positive 3. So remember, in y equals mx plus b, m is the number in front of x. And I want slopes of parallel lines. So those are going to be the same slope. So m equals 7/4. Boom. When you type that into student view, you're going to do 7/4 like that when you type it in. All right, so knock out 15 through 18, hit pause, come back. Oh, now this one, same idea, except now we are looking for slopes of perpendicular lines. So first thing I want to do is find the slope of this line, because perpendicular means start with m and change it into the negative reciprocal. Flip the fraction upside down, change the sign. So again, we need y equals mx plus b. Y equals mx plus b. Get y by itself. Here's my y. Everything that's not y, I am going to get rid of. Get rid of the x first. So I'm going to subtract x on left and right side. X minus x, 0. Nothing happened with this positive 2y, so I'm going to bring it down. Sorry about that. My phone went off. Wife taking care of me. She's a good wife. So we can't do the 6 minus x. So I can't combine them. So I'm going to say negative x plus 6. It's a positive 6, so we write it down. The y still isn't by itself. That 2's got to go away. So I'm going to divide by 2, divide by 2, divide by 2. Everything gets divided by 2. 2y divided by 2, 2 equals negative. Now you can say x over 2, but if you write it as a fraction, negative 1/2 x plus 3. Oops, I wrote 2, not y. Hopefully you caught that. I didn't. 2y divided by 2 is y. Boom. So right now we can see our slope. Our slope is the number in front of x, negative 1/2. So to find the perpendicular slope, take the fraction, flip it upside down, find the reciprocal, change the sign from negative to positive. Now nobody writes 2 over 1, we're just going to write 2. Boom. So the slopes of all perpendicular lines is positive 2. All right, let's find this again. Slope of a line perpendicular. So we're going to take m and we're going to do negative 1 over m. To find m, get y by itself. I want to get y by itself. So to get y by itself, I'm going to subtract x. So that'll give me negative y equals 0 minus x is negative x. I'm going to divide both sides by negative 1. That's the number in front of y. It's not just a negative, it's negative 1. So y equals negative x divided by negative 1 is x. The number in front of x is my slope. So that we understand that's a 1 in front of the x. So this slope is 1. The slope perpendicular to it, just making a note, perpendicular, take the fraction, 1, this is really 1 over 1, turn it upside down, so it's still 1, change the sign. Change the sign from a positive 1 to a negative 1. All right, so let's go ahead and complete this assignment, U1L4A, and put those answers into student view for me.